Bonjour classe, bienvenue dans la classe de français 2. Aujourd'hui, on parlera de leçon 16, partie 1. On y va? Et on retourne à cette chanson après. Class, this week we have some verbs, we have some vocab, and 2 brand new pronouns. Are you excited? Let's start off with the verbs. 3 verbs that look very similar, and in fact their conjugations are quite similar as well. The first one is dire. Dire means to say or to tell. A little different than the verb parler. Parler is to talk, to speak. But if you want to say, I told you so, you're going to use the verb dire. Classe, répétez après moi pour la prononciation du conjugaison. Je dis, tu dis, il dit. Nous disons, vous dites, ils disent. Class, this is the one that's a little bit tricky because we're so used to the vous conjugation ending with an EZ. Vous is always easy, I tell you, until we get to this one. Well, have no fear. I have a song to help you with this one. Oops, I just went right past it. And here it is. It's the song you heard at the beginning of class. I'm just rewinding it a little bit. Dites-moi pourquoi la vie est belle. Tell me why life is beautiful. Dites-moi pourquoi la vie est gaie. Tell me why life is so happy. Dites-moi pourquoi, chère mademoiselle. Tell me why, dear little miss. Est-ce que parce que vous m'aimez? Is it because you love me? Ah oui. Oh, oops, I didn't go back far enough. Let me try again. My phone will cooperate. Okay, here we go. So when we sing along, conjugate this verb, dites. Dites-moi pourquoi la vie est belle. Dites-moi pourquoi la vie est gaie. Dites-moi pourquoi, chère mademoiselle, est-ce que parce que vous m'aimez? Also love that there's an object pronoun here at the end. You love me. Voila. So that is the trick to remembering this conjugation of dire with vous. Vous dites. It's the only one that's different like that. When you look at the other conjugations, you'll notice all the vous forms end with an EZ. Let's do lire. Class, lire is to read. Je lis. Tu lis. Il lit. Nous lisons. Vous lisez. Ils lisent. Super. And then we have écrire. Écrire is to write. On écrit avec un stylo. J'écris. Tu écris. Il écrit. Are you noticing that this one has a really strong French R? Keep practicing that. Nous écrivons. Vous écrivez. Ils écrivent. Et voilà, 3 verbes nouveaux. Let's continue. Along with these verbs, we have some vocabulary. This vocabulary are things that you read and write and say. Par exemple, un journal. Qu'est-ce que c'est qu'un journal? Voici, un journal. Un journal is 2 things actually, a newspaper or a journal. Like if you keep a journal, a diary of your comings and goings all day long, un journal. Une histoire. Class, une histoire is a story. It looks like the word history, and actually if you say l'histoire, that can also mean history, but it means a story, because what is history but stories of the past? See? Un roman. This looks nothing like the word that it is in English. Un roman is a novel. Une carte postale. I bet you can guess this one. A postcard. Un mensonge. Un mensonge is a lie. Someone who tells lies is un menteur, or the feminine une menteuse. Oh la la. Oops, one S and an E. La vérité. La vérité is the truth. A raconter is a very specific verb. It falls somewhere in between parler and dire, to speak and to tell. It means to tell a story, to recount what happened yesterday or whenever this story took place. Raconter, to tell a story. So, 3 new verbs, a little bit of vocab, and now we get into the meat of this chapter, which are 2 brand new pronouns. So let's go there. First of all, quick review of the pronouns that we did last week. We were using le, la, and les. Le to mean him or it, la to mean her or it, basically masculine and feminine, and then les to mean them. So if someone asks you, tu aimes le chocolat? You answer by saying, oui, je l'aime. I like it. Tu manges les tomates? For me, non, je ne les aime, or sorry, not aime, je ne les mange pas. I don't eat them. Tu regardes souvent la télé? Oui, je la regarde souvent. Tu payes l'addition? Are you paying that bill? Okay, oui, une addition, l'addition, je la paye. I had to think, is that masculine or feminine for a second? Je préfère la tarte? Non, je ne la préfère pas. Tu as trouvé tes devoirs? Oui, je les ai trouvés. Oh, here we have some passé composé. Ooh. Et tu as vu ma sœur? Oui, je l'ai vue. We didn't really talk much about the passé composé last week, so really if we just concentrate on 1 through 5 up here, we can see that we are changing the word le chocolat to the word it. Les tomates, them. La télé, it. By using these short little pronouns. Makes our language a lot more efficient, shorter, faster, easier to say, and we do it all the time. So now we're going to take that same concept of a shorter object pronoun to replace the noun, to replace the name of someone or something. And we're going to apply it to these brand new pronouns. Because so far we've had le for him and la for her and les for them. But this is different. Now I'm introducing to you lui, which means to him. It's not just him, it's to him. Or to her. It's kind of nice that this one does double the work. We don't have to worry about boy or girl, masculine or feminine. Lui means both to him and to her. And then leur, to them. Not just them, but to them. So when are we worried about saying to? It's when you have verbs like this. J'écris à ma tante. I'm writing to my aunt. See, it's to her. So you say, je lui écris. Elle dit un mensonge à ses parents. She's telling a lie to her parents? To her parents? To them. Elle leur dit un mensonge. Numéro 3. Nous lisons le journal à James. We're reading the newspaper to James. Nous lui lisons le journal. Et numéro 4. Tu racontes une histoire à tes amis, to your friends. Tu leur racontes une histoire. So there's a whole list of verbs that you can find in your textbook on page 240. And these verbs all have this little teeny tiny word, to. Écrire à, because you write to someone. Parler à, you talk to someone. Rendre visite à, you pay a visit to someone, etc., etc. How many of these do you recognize? Répondre à, téléphoner à, acheter à, and here the little ellipses, the dot, 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 means that you're buying something for someone. So it can mean to or for. Demander à, you're asking something, asking a question to someone. Dire à, saying something to someone, right? Donner à, when you give something, you give it to someone. There it is. Emprunter à, this is like borrowing something from someone, but they still use the à en français. Montrer à, to show something to someone. Et prêter à, to loan something to someone. When you see any of these verbs, and especially looking for the à, you know that you're going to replace the people with lui and leur. So let's do just a little more practice. Je téléphone à Jean-Claude. Je lui téléphone. I make a phone call to him. Notice it goes before the verb, just like le l'aller. Nous répondons au prof. Oui. Nous lui répondons. We respond to him. To him, lui. Je donne un cadeau à mon ami. Ah, ça c'est super. Je lui donne un cadeau. I give a gift to her, mon ami. Elle parle au beau garçon. Oh là là. Elle leur parle. Because they're talking to more than one person. They're talking to them. Elle leur parle. Je ne prête pas mon portable à mon frère. I do not loan my cell phone to my brother. He'd probably drop it and break it. Oops. Je ne lui prête pas. See how that works in the negative? Mon portable à mon frère. The ne pas goes around the verb, but it also goes around the whole thing with the pronoun included. Je ne lui prête pas. Et il ne rend pas visite à ses cousins? Oh, ça c'est dommage. Mais non, il ne leur rend pas visite. He does not visit or pay a visit to them, ses cousins. And there you go. We've got some brand new pronouns, which you already have a pretty good handle on. We've got some brand new verbs and just a little bit of vocabulary. Welcome to lesson 16, class. Watch this video as many times as you need. Practice the song, practice your grammar, and I'll see you in class. À bientôt. Au revoir.